This episode contains violence. I am in mortal peril. Use your discretion, for I know you love me and might faint to consider a missile making for my notable Niddick. From 1603 and Tudor Time Machine, this is episode 10 of Out Brief Candle, an investigation into a murder at William Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. I'm Jessica.
I'm Gage, and we are Tudor Time Machine. Subscribe to our Tudor Time Machine channel on YouTube or listen on your favorite podcast streaming site. We are everywhere.
It's 1603. Long live King James! A fierce competition is afoot among the London theatre companies for the king's favor. Money and fame, and now murder. Did competitive frenzy drive someone to kill a fellow actor at the Globe? Whatever the cause, poor Robert Pavey was murdered, and it has fallen to our own lady Philadelphia Carey to solve the murder.
Philadelphia and her maid Jane are masquerading as men of law to solve the murder.
When Philadelphia realized that her boy toy Richard Burbage had the audacity to love his wife, she got very upset and quit the investigation.
With a little reverse psychology, we convinced her to go back to the Globe and finish solving the murder. Oh, here is Philadelphia.
I was not upset. I was disgusted by such a show of degrading affection and repulsive emotion between husband and wife. Marital affection. Blah. Hey-ho, I care not for all of this.
Philadelphia, it's actually nice they love each other so much.
Oh, they are repulsive and such low beings. I am so happy to be back amongst the highborn at court, and what a fine court it is. My new mistress, Anne of Denmark, is Venus, and her husband, the king, is Vulcan. They never speak a word to each other. Ah, noble hearts.
Wait, what court? Last time we talked, you were going to stay at the Globe and try to solve the murder.
Did I solve the murder?
Philadelphia, this is important. What have you been up to?
Oh, I solved your beastly murder and flew back to court on the wings of desire for the good things of the genteel life that is my birthright.
What?
You solved the murder?
Honestly, you're not teasing us?
Yes, I know all. Ah, 'twas love of moi that was the catalyst of crime.
What do you mean?
Pitikins, what do I mean? Shall I tell? I think not. I shall keep my secrets. Ta-ta, my good friends, I am back to Whitehall. There are such festivities abroad there.
Philadelphia, stop. Come on. Don't torture us. We have been so involved in this mystery.
Yeah, we've been trying to help you, trying to keep your spirits up. You can't just say you solved it and flit off. That's cruel. You pod ladies helped me. You pod ladies are the great thinkers. If that is so, then you must already know who is guilty. You do not need me. Again, I say ta-ta.
Philadelphia.
Oh, very well.
Who did it?
I will not quench your curiosity quickly. There are 5 acts to a fine drama. Take your seats like good pod ladies, and all shall be revealed in its proper time. Avaunt, the opening scene. Dressed as Constable Blatt, I entered the hut to find all the company assembled. Many voices shouted that the quarantine had been lifted and that they would be gone. I forbid them in the name of the king, and said that the murder must be solved first. Then came cries and fisticuffs and hurly-burly. What were they fighting about? They were all accusing each other, and into this chaos came the oafish sweeper Twig, brandishing his broom. He swatted Shakespeare, saying, "Titania splattered upon the cobblestones, a fall from the window. My dove could not fly, she is mashed like porridge, ah!" And then he turned his broom upon himself and began hitting himself with it. Shakespeare sunk to the ground in a dramatic flourish and said, "Give sorrow words. The grief that does not speak knits up the o'erwrought heart and bids it break." Ah, he is a master of contemporary brilliance.
I love that line. From Macbeth, right, Philadelphia?
What is this Macbeth?
Macbeth, the play, come on.
No future talk. Remember, we're in 1603. I think that was later.
Oops.
As I was saying, yes, please continue. The servant crone Alice began to wail. Burbage and slutwife Winifred clutched each other. Pooh! The players Armand, Sly, Hemmings, Condell, and the apprentice John Rice fell to their knees and began to pray. 'Twas more grief than they ever spent on Robert Pabby's bloody murdered corpse. But how could you let everyone get so upset? You knew Titania wasn't really dead. You are not worth another word, for you have earwax in your brain and will not listen to my tale. Do I not know the moment to reveal? I do. I did turn, and with the fortitude of Fortinbras proclaimed,
I, as Constable Blatt, know she did not die. It was but her cloak upon the ground. I aided her to climb from the window.
What did Twig do?
He brayed like a hound, pushing everyone away in his hurry.
Stop! I commanded. You will not catch her, sirrah. She has the advance and is bound for Venice.
Ah! I will bash this violet Venice with my broom! He roared. Poor Twig. He is a dimwit. Condell spoke.
Good Twig, Venice is no man. It is the bright jewel of cities.
Winifred puckered her ugly puss. I am amazed. Why goes the trollop Titania to Venice, Constable?
She admires a great actress who dwells there. Master Shakespeare put her in mind to act,
I returned. All eyes turned to the playwright. Shakespeare said,
Ah, friends, the purpose of playing, whose end, both at the first and now, was and is to hold as 'twere the mirror up to nature.
Which I do know is from Hamlet. He went on,
Is a woman not the reflection of herself? I do admit it. I desired my love Titania to play my heroine Rosalind, the greatest woman I have ever writ.
How did the rest of the company take that?
Very badly. John Hemmings accused Shakespeare of ruining the girl's mind with outlandish foreign ideas of women being on the stage.
Why so against women?
'Tis believed there is no art in a woman playing a woman.
But don't men play men?
Exactly. I mean, Burbage playing Hamlet is an art, right?
Of course.
So men playing other men is art, but women acting as other women is not art?
Precisely.
That is an absurd double standard.
My dear Gage, the world is full of double standards, as you call them. Truth be told, as a person of high birth, most are in my favour. I seek not change, lest change go against my interest.
Philadelphia, that doesn't seem like a very ethical way to live. Didn't Socrates say an unexamined life is not worth living?
I say Socrates was a badly dressed old fool who drank hemlock because he was asked to.
What have I to learn from such a one as Socrates? Let's go back to the murder.
Yes, everyone was mad at Shakespeare because he wanted a woman to play a woman's role.
Indeed. Hemmings turned on Shakespeare and cried,
Was it you then who murdered Robert Pavy so your doll Titania might take the role in As You Like It?
Shakespeare said,
Fie on you, Hemmings, for 'twas you. You wished your love Rice to take the role of Rosalind.
The apprentice John Rice did rouse himself and say, 'Twas never Hemmings, 'twas the crone Alice, and she is a violent witch, for did she not pull my ears yesterday with such a strong grip as can only be the gift of her satanic lord?
Oh no.
This brought the harpy Alice to her feet.
Fie on you, John Rice! You are an imp of hell! I am no witch! I am no witch! Put me in the dunking stool and I shall drown like any good Christian. Oh, I shall perish, I say. Jesus will cause me to sink as quickly as if a sack of bricks were tied to my feet. To the river, that I might drown with my Lord's weight upon me, that I may prove my lily-white soul.
Then she turned on the apprentice and began to claw him with her filthy nails, and she had to be pulled off the lad. Winifred Burbage led her away, the repulsive leading the decrepit. Oh, I had to stifle my hilarity. Philadelphia, everyone sounds so overwrought. Were you nervous that they would kill each other? I did have such a fear. And though they are lowlings, it would have been a loss, for many of them have some talent.
Did you calm them down?
There was a pause in the ruckus, and Hemmings did wipe Rice's scratched face with his handkerchief. And I will tell you that John Rice did speak again. He said he knew a dark secret about Armin and Sly that made them suspect.
What was that?
Rice said Armin and Sly were Catholics and smugglers and were always on the wrong side of the law. He said they were being blackmailed by Robert Pavey.
You suspected that they were being blackmailed, Philadelphia?
I did. Rice confirmed it, but Armin swung around and cried,
John Rice, you did the deed. For I know Pavey was blackmailing you too. He told me so. That he threatened to reveal your secret, that you were in Tyburn together for stealing. Pavey had the T upon his thumb, and you do too. Admit you are a thief. Hold out your hand, sirrah.
That's right. Jane noticed the T on Pavey's thumb when she was examining the body.
Ah, Jane. Good dear Jane. John Rice clutched his hand to his breast and said to Hemmings, I would not have you see this frightful thing upon my honest hand. And tears welled up in his eyes, and he flew from the room, with Hemmings following, beseeching, Fear not, lad, I adore you, my comely cut purse.
Wow, it sounds so chaotic.
'Twas then that Burbage did turn on Shakespeare. Will, what a knave you are, to coax Titania along in her fancies to act, to do so in a sly, wolfish fashion. Thought you to steal our parts, that you might put your painted whores upon the boards? You are nothing but a pimp, Will. Being a sly pimp, mayhap you are a murderer too. Shakespeare spoke. 'Twas you yourself, Burbage, who killed poor Pavey. You wished to do that sleep-inducing, poorly wrought Sejanus, that the groundlings might joy to fart lustily to drown the tortured verse.
Yikes!
Then, and oh, my blood boils to repeat it, Condell began to chuckle, and he spoke teasingly to Burbage.
I know 'twas not you, Dick, for did you not tell me you were being a pimp yourself with a lusty, willing whore all afternoon, rolling about with the creature in such a frenzy that she bit your neck in love play? You showed me the mark. You are quite the Dick. Show Will the whore's mark.
Burbage bared his neck, and they all had a great laugh and became friends again as I stood hot as fire.
Wait, I thought Burbage was with you when Pavey was murdered, Philadelphia.
He was, you simpleton, and perhaps I did nibble his neck, and he professed to love me, yet he dared tell Condell I was a whore. Oh, I was in a fury. I desired to tear Burbage's neck from his body. I pulled the hammer that I took from Titania from my constable black belt and raised it above my head to strike the blackguard. But Jane did fall upon me and whispered, Mistress, the clod is not worth your anger. He is a mongrel dog. I will tell you, I was taken aback. She did speak with such vehemence.
I didn't realize she disliked Burbage so much.
Jane did then command, in her fine man-of-law voice,
Constable Blatt and I must have a parley away from you poultry players.
And we did away to the tiring room, and there Jane did tell me the whole truth.
What is the truth?
All was done for me, for moi. The love I create in the breasts of those who serve me is non-parallel.
What was done for you?
Pavey discovered my affair with Burbage.
How did he do that?
'Tis shocking, is it not? I always went to Burbage under the cover of a great cloak, but Pavey was a loathsome sneak and spied upon Burbage day and night. He discovered that I, Lady Philadelphia Carey, Baroness of Bolton, did stoop to mix with the lowly Burbage.
Pavey was blackmailing everyone. Did he try to blackmail you?
He did, but I knew nothing of it.
What do you mean you knew nothing of it?
Follow me closely, dunderhead. Jane related this all to me after the fact. One night when I was with Burbage, Jane, who always accompanied me to the Globe, was assailed by Pavey. He threatened to divulge all unless he was paid, and bid Jane tell me so. But Jane revealed nothing to me. In her desire to spare me worry and show her fealty, valiant Jane did pay him.
Jane was paying off Pavey out of her own pocket?
She was.
For how long?
She'd lost 6 weeks' wages to Pavey.
How could she live?
Now that I think on it, I do recall she would eat from my plate as she carried it away. Indeed, poor girl, I wondered at her hunger.
Okay, but what about Pavy's murder?
Aha! You shall discover. On the night of the murder, whilst I was with Burbage, Jane had an assignation with Pavy in the hut. He was very drunk and demanded twice the amount she had brought. She declared she had not a penny more. Just at that moment she heard footsteps coming towards the hut. She hid herself just as Burbage came in.
That's right. Burbage left you in the tiring room to get costumes.
He did, that we might dress as Venus and Adonis for our love play. Jane saw him scoop up the costumes with some silly excuse to Pavy, who laughed in his face most uproariously. Burbage turned on his heel, for he would not be mocked by a mere strapling boy. Pavy told Jane he relished the notion of besmirching moi, especially if I be half-clothed in an absurd fancy dress. He would do so unless Jane gave him more coins. She persisted that she had nothing more. He made her go down the stairs.
Oh no, I have a bad feeling about this.
What did Jane do? She cried out, "My mistress must not be laid to ruin at the tip of your black tongue. You must leave her be," and made after him. She grabbed at his leg. Unsteady from drink, he fell and hit his head. He was stunned, but revived, and lurched at her in a great fury, calling my poor lass all sorts of cruel names, and Jane was much afeared as he waved his arm, and his face darkened. Terrifying! Jane did spy a penknife on a shelf and took it up for protection.
Oh my gosh! Was that the knife with Shakespeare's initials on it?
'Twas, though Jane knew it not at the time. Go on, what happened next? Pavy could not find his footing, and his hair was dark with blood. Such mayhem. Pavy reached for Jane's hair to pull her down to the ground. Off balance, her arms did flail, and his feet unsteady, they did land in a heap. And then Jane froze, and wondered why he was so quiet behind her, as she lifted her empty hands aghast. She knew not where the knife, once in her hand, had gone to.
Oh my.
It was Jane.
It sounds horrible. Poor Jane.
She is my acolyte. My image makes her brave and strong.
So Jane did kill him. But it was an accident. It was self-defense.
I agree. Pavy was threatening her.
Jane was bewildered. When she saw the boy's life's blood pouring from him, she ran from the hut. She was beside herself.
I remember you said you and Burbage were disturbed by a ruckus and Jane knocking on the door.
'Twas so, and Burbage went to see what was amiss. When he returned and said that Pavy had been murdered, Jane sealed up her lips and dared not recount even to moi what had occurred. So it was Jane all along?
She pretended to be helping you investigate the murder, but she was guilty? That's pretty awful.
Do not be too hard upon the chit. She was in a desperate state. I blame her not. She did it for love of me. To have me threatened in any way addled her brain. She could not help herself. He was a rogue and a fiend, and is better in hell where he belongs. Once Jane disclosed the truth to me, I was amazed, astounded, grateful, and most desirous of leaving the horrible theatre and all its nasty inhabitants. The quarantine that had trapped us there was lifted, the murder was solved, and I was impatient to be gone.
What did you tell the others about the murder? Shakespeare, Hemmings, and the Burbages, everyone.
Not a word. What cared I for those sots?
I instructed Jane to retrieve the women's clothes she had stored in the tiring room when we disguised ourselves. She aided me to transform back to womanly dress, and I bid her do the same. We left our man-of-law costumes strewn about the floor of the tiring room, snuck out into the yard, and exited out of that horrible globe with all dispatch, and took a barge back to Whitehall.
Oh, what a joy! I told some tale of having been trapped at an inn because of the quarantine, and all were joyful to have Lady Philadelphia Carey back in their midst. Queen Anne kissed my cheek, thanking heaven that I had not perished from the plague as she had feared. Wait, you just left the company at the Globe with no explanation of the murder. Indeed, they all suspected each other. May they continue to do so for all eternity, I care not. They did come to court as the king's men, so they did win the favor of James, although I did not favor them in the least.
Did the missing Pavy even come up?
Oh, indeed. As one of the known players at the Globe, Pavy was asked after. The company strung together a tale that during quarantine, 2 men dressed as constables did come for Pavy and took him away, and now all are missing. They only left their costumes behind. I overheard Burbage say that Pavy owed so much money to all at the Globe and in the neighborhood that no doubt the men were confederates of Pavy's, and the whole thing was a plot to help him escape his debts. Burbage suggested he might have run away to Italy, as he always fancied being an actor of the commedia. Oh, 'twas a bold lie. I give the man that credit. 'Twas a bold lie. But then Burbage was always a lying dog. They didn't admit that Pavy had been murdered? They pretended he was still alive and just disappeared? Indeed, why would they do otherwise? 'Twould be a stain on all the players. They wanted their livery and their fame. They were wise to cover the business.
And you also covered the business.
I had no love for Pavy. He was a blackmailer and a criminal, and I care not what happens among those lowlings. Not in the least. But Jane, Jane, she is a girl worth preserving, and preserve her I shall. Avaunt! I have told the whole tale, and I must go back to court. We are rehearsing a masque written by Ben Jonson. I have a wonderful role, and such a costume, and a new high-born love who speaks Scots and is a giant. I'm surprised the murderer was Jane.
And that the company at the Globe never admitted Pavy's death. I guess that's why there's no historical record of this murder at the Globe Theatre.
Out, brief candle. My tale is spun, and I shall exit. Goodbye, pod ladies.
Goodbye. Enjoy the 17th century.
Goodbye, Philadelphia.
Out Brief Candle is a production of 1603 and Tudor Time Machine. And many thanks to barber surgeon Master Mark. You'll look fantastic in the Out Brief Candle swag. The link is on the YouTube channel and the Podbean channel. You'll be Tudorific in the t-shirts, and thank you for joining us. Hit subscribe.